Welcome to episode 125 of your CYSA Plus Prepcast. Today's episode focuses on an often overlooked but critically important part of incident response: coordinating legal and public relations communications during a cybersecurity event. These two domains play essential roles in shaping how an incident is documented, reported, and understood by regulators, customers, stakeholders, and the public. Legal communication ensures that the organization meets regulatory requirements, maintains confidentiality, and reduces exposure to liability. Public relations communication helps preserve organizational reputation, control narratives, and sustain trust. Both must work in harmony with the technical response team to ensure accurate, consistent, and timely dissemination of information. Knowing how and when to engage these stakeholders is vital for certification success and professional practice during any cybersecurity crisis. The legal team must be involved as early as possible once a security incident has been declared. Their guidance is essential for determining whether the event meets legal thresholds for reporting, whether any breach notification laws apply, and whether regulatory bodies must be contacted. Early legal involvement ensures that the organization does not miss deadlines for disclosure and avoids unintentionally violating laws that vary across jurisdictions. Cybersecurity professionals must understand that legal compliance begins immediately, not after containment is complete. Evidence preservation is one of the first priorities during a cybersecurity investigation, and this process must be coordinated with legal counsel. Analysts must ensure that logs, memory snapshots, system images, and other forms of evidence are collected in a way that maintains forensic integrity. Legal teams provide guidance on how to establish and maintain chain of custody procedures, ensuring that any evidence collected can be used in legal or regulatory proceedings. Mishandling this process can compromise investigations and eliminate the possibility of legal recourse. Legal communication also helps identify and manage liability risks throughout the response lifecycle. In many cases, incidents involve data covered by privacy regulations, intellectual property protections, or contractual security clauses. Legal counsel evaluates the nature of the data affected, determines whether customer notification is required, and guides decision-making related to potential financial or legal exposure. This includes evaluating contractual obligations to customers, partners, or vendors who may be impacted by the incident. Legal teams provide expertise in navigating complex, multi-jurisdictional regulatory frameworks. Global organizations must comply with laws such as the General Data Protection Regulation in Europe, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act in the United States, and the California Consumer Privacy Act. These regulations may have different definitions of what constitutes a breach and may impose varying requirements for notifying affected individuals or data protection authorities. Legal guidance ensures that response efforts meet all applicable requirements and that documentation supports any claims of compliance. During an incident, the legal department must also be informed of any contractual implications that arise. If service-level agreements are breached due to downtime or data loss, or if third-party obligations are affected, legal teams must be notified. Cybersecurity professionals must communicate with legal about the incident's effect on existing agreements so that any notifications, negotiations, or responses can be prepared. Legal support in these scenarios protects the organization from further exposure and ensures that contractual terms are managed appropriately. Close coordination between cybersecurity and legal teams is also essential for developing an audit-ready documentation trail. The legal department often determines what documentation must be retained, how it should be formatted, and how it may be used to support regulatory investigations or insurance claims. Documentation must be precise, consistent, and comprehensive. Legal teams help ensure that this record meets evidentiary standards and can stand up to scrutiny from auditors or opposing legal counsel. Another important legal function during incidents is managing interaction with law enforcement or regulatory agencies. Legal professionals guide how, when, and what to report, ensuring that disclosures meet legal requirements without compromising sensitive business interests. They also advise on whether engagement with authorities is mandatory or discretionary, and whether doing so might affect potential litigation, investigations, or liabilities. Clear communication between the legal team and the cybersecurity group is critical to managing these relationships appropriately. Legal teams also assist in managing internal communications. Not all information gathered during an incident should be shared freely across departments. In some cases, legal privilege may be invoked to protect sensitive details from being disclosed in future litigation. Legal advisors work with response teams to determine how communications should be structured, who should receive updates, and how sensitive findings should be managed. These decisions are especially important when incidents involve internal misconduct or high-stakes data breaches. Legal counsel also supports the process of engaging with the organization's cyber liability insurance provider. Coverage for breach response costs, legal services, public relations efforts, and customer notifications may be included in the policy. Legal professionals help initiate claims, document losses, and ensure that all insurer conditions are met. Insurance claims often require specific documentation and timelines, which legal stakeholders manage to avoid delays or denials. Finally, legal teams participate in post-incident reviews. These reviews help assess how well the organization complied with its legal obligations, whether any compliance gaps exist, and whether the response team followed best practices for limiting liability. Legal professionals may recommend updates to policies, contracts, or notification procedures. Their feedback is essential for continuous improvement and helps the organization reduce legal risk during future incidents. For more cyber-related content and books, please check out cyberauthor.me. Also, there are more security courses on cybersecurity and more at baremetalcyber.com. Public relations communication plays a vital role in shaping how a cybersecurity incident is perceived by customers, partners, media, and the general public. As soon as an incident is formally declared, the PR team should be notified. Early involvement ensures that communication strategies are developed in parallel with technical response efforts. This helps avoid reactive messaging and ensures consistency between internal reporting and external statements. Public relations professionals work closely with executive leadership, legal counsel, and cybersecurity teams to define what can be shared, how it should be delivered, and who will serve as the official spokesperson. Crafting public-facing messages requires clarity, precision, and empathy. PR teams must balance transparency with confidentiality. External statements must be factually accurate, reflect the current understanding of the incident, and avoid speculation. Messages should address what happened, what information or systems were affected, what actions have been taken, and what impacted parties can expect next. Clear and timely public communication reduces uncertainty and builds trust, especially in cases involving customer data or widespread service disruption. Cybersecurity professionals must coordinate closely with PR teams to ensure that public messages align with internal reports and incident documentation. If the public message contradicts internal findings or downplays the severity of an event, the organization may appear dishonest or disorganized. This can erode customer confidence and increase reputational damage. Sharing sanitized versions of technical findings with PR ensures accuracy while preserving confidentiality and legal protection. PR communications should directly address the incident's impact on customers, partners, or other stakeholders. This may include acknowledging data breaches, service interruptions, or access disruptions. The goal is to demonstrate that the organization takes the incident seriously, is acting responsibly, and is committed to protecting its users. Including specific guidance, such as changing passwords, enabling multi-factor authentication, or monitoring account activity, shows leadership and provides affected individuals with tangible next steps. Proactive media engagement is a core strategy in managing public perception. The PR team should prepare statements in advance, identify anticipated questions, and create a set of structured responses. These responses must be approved by legal and technical stakeholders to avoid sharing inaccurate or premature information. Engaging media proactively helps control the narrative and minimizes misinformation, which can easily spread during high-profile incidents. Timely updates to customers are essential throughout the incident lifecycle. This includes initial notifications, ongoing updates, and final resolution statements. These communications may be delivered through email, customer portals, or public announcements. The tone must remain professional, transparent, and empathetic. A well-managed customer communication strategy demonstrates accountability and builds long-term brand loyalty even in the face of negative events. In today's environment, social media cannot be ignored. Cybersecurity and PR teams must prepare for real-time communication on platforms such as Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. These channels are often where customers first seek information during a crisis. Organizations should designate spokespersons, prepare messaging in advance, and monitor public reactions closely. Responding quickly and accurately helps reduce speculation and provides a consistent voice during the incident. External communications must also acknowledge the legal and regulatory context. If mandatory disclosures have been made to authorities, or if compliance requirements have been triggered, these should be reflected in public messaging when appropriate. Statements should clarify that the organization is cooperating with regulators, has followed required procedures, and is committed to meeting all obligations. This level of transparency builds credibility and reassures stakeholders that the organization is acting in good faith. Once the incident is resolved, PR teams should work with cybersecurity and legal teams to conduct a communication effectiveness review. This review should assess how public statements were received, whether misinformation was successfully countered, and how stakeholder trust was impacted. Feedback should be collected from internal teams, customers, and external observers to refine communication strategies for future events. Lessons learned from PR performance are just as important as technical lessons when building organizational resilience. Finally, organizations should maintain and regularly update their PR communication plans as part of their broader incident response strategy. These plans should include templates, contact lists, approval workflows, and messaging guidelines. Predefined procedures allow the organization to move quickly when an incident occurs, ensuring that communication keeps pace with technical response. Well-compared PR strategies not only reduce reputational harm, but also demonstrate to customers, regulators, and partners that the organization is capable, mature, and committed to transparency. To summarize episode 125, legal and PR communication during cybersecurity incidents is not optional. It is essential. Legal teams manage regulatory exposure, preserve evidence integrity, and protect the organization from unnecessary liability. PR teams shape public perception, inform stakeholders, and maintain trust in the organization. When these functions are integrated with cybersecurity response efforts, the result is a well-coordinated, transparent, and confident incident response. Mastering the timing, structure, and messaging of these communications ensures that organizations remain resilient and credible in the face of crisis. Thanks for listening. To learn more about cybersecurity, please visit baremetalcyber.com. There you will find best-selling books, videos, and even more free cybersecurity training courses. Please subscribe to the Prepcast and our various podcasts. And thanks for listening.